This week, I'm going to the idyllic state of Kerala. It's a place on the southwest tip, and with its lush tropical forests, shimmering lagoons, meandering waterways and swaying coconut palms, it's known, quite rightly, as God's own country. Ah, this is the life. And one of the best ways to see the beauty of Kerala is to take a leisurely boat ride on the serene backwaters of Alapi, the Venice of the East. They stretch for over 1,800 kilometres, crisscrossing the state, connecting towns and people. And it's a far but peaceful cry from the hurly-burly of the western rush hour. Thank you. Everything here is distinctly Kerala because it involves coconut, milk, or grated coconut, or coconut oil. Vegetable curry with tamarind, cabbage with mustard seeds and coconut, grated coconut with beetroot, all served on a banana leaf with poppadom, pickles and raita. There's no meat in this meal. You don't need it. It's fantastic. I'm staying in Cochin. It's a port city with a rich past and a bustling present, the commercial capital and the most cosmopolitan of Kerala's cities. Traffic is chaotic, and here you take your life in your hands if you drive, despite the efforts of the local body. This is the spice garden of India, producing a massive 90% of the country's needs. For centuries, the spices have been lovingly sorted by hand. Pepper, cardamoms, and tucked away in back streets you'll find small courtyards where spices like ginger and turmeric are laid out to dry in the baking sun. Kerala, literally the land of the coconut, produces some 7 billion nuts a year. And what a versatile thing it is. You can cook with it, make ropes and mats with it, create artifacts. And, as I'll show you later, it's its oil, its milk and its flesh that puts a distinctive stamp on the local cuisine. Throughout most of India, the cow is highly sacred. If it blocks the traffic, it blocks the traffic. But here in Kerala, they're not sacred. And in fact, they're slaughtered because the Christians and the Muslims who predominantly live here like to eat cow. And curiously enough, it's cheaper than chicken. So, I'm going to cook a beef curry, a hot, dry and slightly sour curry. Now, the important thing about all curries is making what's called the masala. That's the curry paste. So, in order to do that, I've used mustard seeds, coriander seeds, cinnamon, pepper, cloves, fenugreek, fennel seeds and cumin and red chilies. I mix the whole lot up together, resulting in this particular powder, the masala that makes the whole thing. Do please make the masala. Don't buy a packet or a bottle. So the first thing I do is put some oil into my pot and add my masala. Fry that gently in the oil till it's taken a flavour. Then, the second that's taken some heat and some oil, we add in the beef into there and stir that well in so that each piece of meat is well coated with the masala which has now been cooked in oil. Any oil will do. Then we add some slices of fresh ginger, slices of fresh coconut, and of course the ever-present curry leaves. Mix that well together. Let it cook gently away. Then we add some vinegar, which of course gives it its slightly sour taste. We now just leave that to simmer away for about half an hour before we go on to the next phase. So while that's cooking, I'm going to make some coconut chutney. This is simply a question of blending some fennel leaves, some white lentils lightly toasted, some green chilies, and some fresh ginger. So we put those into the blender first of all. Then we add some grated coconut. Whiz that round all together. Let's hope the old liquidizer works. When that's blended nicely, tip it into the bowl. Meanwhile, I've fried some little mustard seeds, some red chilies, and some curry leaves. You stir that in, mixed all together. Now, if you find that that is a little bit too dry, you can just stir in a little drop of water to make it more moist. And it's really quite tasty, a little bit spicy, to go with this very hot beef curry. Right, that's beautifully reduced, rich, dark, hot, and slightly sour sauce. The last little ingredient, we just fry some of these lovely red shallots till they're slightly golden brown. Add a bit of fenugreek seed, just to toast it, to get the flavour out of it. A little bit of mustard seed, again just to bring the flavour out. And lightly fry some curry leaves, just for a second. So then we tip that onto the curry for its extra flavour and its little garnish. Now, in sweet contrast to our hot beef curry, I'm going to make a creamy vegetable curry. This time our masala is green because it's made from ground coconut, green chilies, shallots and fennel seeds. That's all blended together and mixed. Then we have a lovely pannier of Asian vegetables, plantains, pumpkins, kohlrabi, green beans, mango, drumsticks, etc., etc., etc. Of course, if back up to me, please, Mike, you could use English vegetables. It wouldn't be the same, but we've got so many lovely Asian shops throughout the United Kingdom. Those are the kind of vegetables to get. What we do very simply is, here I've got water and turmeric in the pot, Mike, if you can see that. Just boiling away, water, turmeric and salt, and we just chuck in all the vegetables. Like so. Then we add our delicious green masala. Again, of course, lots of coconut, which fits this part of the world, Cochin. Stir all that together. Now, they only take about 10 minutes or so for them to cook. So why don't you pop off and look for some dolphins or some windmills or some amusing little shots while that cooks. Good. That's beautifully cooked now, as you can see, Mike. Look right into there. The vegetables are cooked and the sauce is reduced. Now all we have to do is add some yogurt and of course a handful of the ubiquitous curry leaves, and let that simmer for just a few more moments for the flavours to amalgamate. After that hot work, nothing goes better with a curry, except for lassi of course, and a lager. First today, but not the last. So, my Indian feast today, a hot, slightly sour, but very subtly spiced beef curry. Then, as a sweeter contrast, Asian vegetables simmered in turmeric-flavoured water and thickened with a green chili and coconut masala and finished with yogurt. And to take away the heat of the beef curry itself, a very simple coconut chutney. Instead of having breakfast in my hotel, I'm going to downtown Cochin to look at the Unikrishna restaurant. And after my rickshaw ride, I now believe in divine intervention.
Thank you. Thank you.
Everybody eats here, from coconut pickers to office workers and lawyers, and there's a choice of 7 tasty dishes. Breakfast in India is a spicy treat, and it's for nothing. A plate of one of these things is about 2 rupees. You can have, for example, a rice flour pancake, rice noodles, a flour-based pancake just griddled or deep fried, or steamed rice cakes, or steamed semolina with mustard seeds and chilies. Now you can eat these delicious things with potato curry, vegetable curry in coconut milk, chickpeas, or beans, or lentils, or curried eggs with onions and coconut chutney. Absolutely delicious and makes a terrific change from bacon and eggs. Here, the cook is making a vegetable curry with okra, green bananas, and, of course, coconut oil. You eat this with a paratha, made from flour, oil, water and salt, as elsewhere in India. But here, it's griddled or grilled rather than baked in a clay oven. Oh, and by the way, he makes 750 a day. I reckon that Dante, before he wrote the Inferno, came to India for a few cookery lessons, because here, at 120 degrees Fahrenheit, it is crucifyingly hot. But the food is absolutely fantastic. And if you fancy a cup of cha here, then Jayan is your man. I suppose it's one way to cool down your tea, but don't try it at home. This spectacular classic dance drama is called Kathakali. The stories are based on epic Hindu tales and are traditionally performed by men, I think. That melodic and haunting chant seemed very French to me, although I'm told it's quite meaningless. Anyway, a quarter of India's fish comes from the waters around Kerala, and my, it's hard work. 20 men or more cast and haul the net from before dawn without a sign of fatigue or bad humour. But, as usual, because I was on board, the catch was poor, so I had to shop before setting up my kitchen on Parakara Beach. Apart from being very rich in fish, Cochin grows hundreds of coconuts, and many of the curries here are flavoured with coconut in one way or another. So I'm going to do a fish curry involving coconuts, chilies red and green, ginger and turmeric. You could, of course, cheat and buy it all in powder form, mix it up with some coconut milk, but it wouldn't taste the same. So I've ground all that up in the liquidizer and added the actual milk from the coconut to get this wonderful coconut masala. So the first thing I need to do is to put some coconut oil into the wok, and firstly add some of these delightful, fiery, superb red shallots. Another nice thing we're going to add to this wonderful dish are some fresh but sour, not yet ripe mangoes. We're also going to be adding some fenugreek seeds, mustard seeds, and one of the most wonderful things of all, curry leaves, fresh curry leaves. Right. Into that, we add this wonderful mixture of ground coconut, chilies, turmeric, and ginger. And do my best not to set fire to myself. Not difficult. I mean, it's about 110 degrees here on this beach. Let that cook gently away. Next thing that goes into that, we add some slices of raw, but not ripe mango. Okay, we'll let that simmer away for about 20 minutes. Meanwhile, I've fried a few more shallots to make them crispy and brown, and now I'm going to add and toast some mustard seed. A bit of mustard seed like that. Gets the extra flavour out if you fry it in coconut oil. And then some fenugreek seeds. Very important. Just for a second or two. That should be right. Now we'll add the fish. Doesn't matter as long as it's firm fleshed fish. Big thick breams or monkfish or something of that kind would be ideal. Pop those pieces in. Here they particularly like to use fish with the skin and heads on and everything, but I've cut these into chunks and filleted them. It's easier to eat, doesn't impair the flavour, and I know most people prefer to eat acceptable lumps like that, and it doesn't effectively really spoil the flavour in any way. Right, now we can add in the fenugreek seeds and the mustard seeds into the pot and let it simmer for another 10 or 15 minutes or until the fish is just cooked, not falling to bits. Just cooked, still slightly firm in the middle. That's it. Very simple. A creamy yet spicy fish curry made from coconut milk and sour mangoes. Quite delicious. These are sinister machines. Are they monster praying mantis or Leonardo da Vinci war machines or something from H.G. Wells' War of the Worlds? I don't know. In any event, these Chinese nets, dashed clever those Chinese, were introduced here about 1350 AD. And at high tide, they're lowered into the water to trap the fish. Six o'clock and sunset in this tranquil paradise, and time to wander gently back to the hotel for a refreshing tiffin, if you know what I mean. The great thing about passionate belief is the stunning spectacle of a religious festival. And here in Cochin, they know how to do it in style. The colours, the costumes, the elephants, the drums, the music, and the happy hordes celebrating and giving thanks to the Hindu god Shiva. Sadly, though, for me, it's time to move on. Since I know absolutely nothing about Keralan cooking, and this is my first visit to Cochin, I've asked Chef Rashid, who's the head chef of the Taj Malabar Hotel here in Cochin, to do a little cooking demonstration for me and for you. So, what are you going to do?
I'm going to make the prawn maili. It's a traditional dish of the Syrian Christians of Kerala. And these are the prawn, the fresh prawns. It's cooked in the coconut milk. It's flavored with ginger, garlic, and turmeric. This is coconut oil.
Yes.
In Kerala, we use quite a lot of coconut in this cooking. So what I'm going to do now first is these are the fresh prawns which we get it every day from the sea. Marinated with turmeric and a little bit of salt. And this is rubbed together and kept aside. The meantime, the oil is hot. I'll be putting some onions, a little bit of ginger. And some crushed garlic and green chili.
Green chilies, excellent.
These are sauteed for a few minutes till the onions become slightly transparent.
Right.
Then after that, we put the prawns into that.
Curry is the most popular meal for British people.
Yes.
But most of them can't cook it. They have to go to restaurants. Is there one secret, one piece of advice you could give to British people who would like to cook curry?
See, what we do, especially from Kerala, the curries are cooked, it's very quick. It doesn't take much time. And most of the spices are used in the coarse form. It's not in a powder form. So it gives the flavor and retains the appearance of the curry also. Right. It has to be really good. So now I'm adding the thinner extract of coconut milk.
This is coconut milk which has been watered down a little bit.
Yeah.
Have it very thin to start with, otherwise it'll curdle, and then to richen the dish at the end, use some thick coconut milk just at the last minute.
You'll put a little bit of tomatoes into that.
That looks fresh, doesn't it? It looks...
Then
And then the thicker stuff.
thicker extract of coconut milk. So now your
That
prawn
is
maili is ready.
fantastic. Thank you very much indeed. And that is delicate, fresh, and very spicy. It's not hot, it's just, as you say, you've infused the spices beautifully. Rashid, thank you very much. That's your 50 minutes
you.
of fame.
Right.
It's
Thank
my
you.
turn now.
Right. Thank
Goodbye.
you.
Thank you very much for coming. Cheerio. This is Chef Rashid's delicate dish of prawns cooked in a fragrant blend of coconut, ginger, chili, and turmeric. In the state where coconut is king, I'm going to prepare a brown mutton curry cooked in coconut milk. I've got the mutton marinating here in very thin coconut milk and then flavoured with shallots, with chilies, garlic, cumin, coriander, chili, mustard seeds, and something called a garam masala, which is bay leaves, cloves, cardamom, and cinnamon. Right, so the first thing we do, in coconut oil, already warm, I'm going to stir in my onions, followed by the green chilies. These lovely little red shallots are absolutely full of flavour. Then we'll add our dried masala. First of all, some chili, then some cumin, some garlic and ginger pureed, and we'll stir that lot together. And this then is effectively our masala. Masala is the creation that is achieved by mixing various herbs and spices together. It's got nothing to do with chicken tikka masala, I can assure you. Now we'll add the meat. I've had this marinating in the fridge for about 12 hours, and this is why you're going to find it so tasty and so creamy and so different from the curry you try to make at home. Now, finally, our garam masala goes in. It's a little bit too much. There we are. And we set that to simmer away for an hour or two before we go on to the second phase of that dish. Now, meanwhile, I've got some okra, lady's fingers, which I'm going to stir fry in coconut oil with some slivers of fresh ginger. It only takes a few minutes to cook this dish. Once the lady's fingers are soft and nicely fried, that's the moment to put in your coconut, chili and cumin masala. And finish it off with some lightly fried curry leaves. Now, meanwhile, things are looking good in the brown mutton stew, and it's time to add the diced potatoes. And they serve a very useful purpose in this dish, apart from, of course, adding potatoes and nice things to eat. Scientifically, they do us a great big favour because as they cook, the starch is released, and we're adding the thick coconut milk now. The starch is released, and that stops the coconut milk from splitting. It's effectively stirring it in with corn flour, but it's actually potato flour that comes from potatoes. So this is my highly spiced stew of mutton and potatoes simmered in coconut milk. And crunchy, creamy and spicy lady's fingers cooked in coconut, ginger and chilies.
You know, there is something in the air in Kerala that gives me a peaceful, easy feeling. I'll be sad to go. Oh, by the way, I've written a book to accompany this series. It's called Floyd's India, and it includes all the recipes I've shown you and more. And of course, it's available from all good bookshops.
Grandad's had a couple too many on the airline next over on Sky Travel, the home of travel reality. Here on Extra, meanwhile, it's Sky Travel Shop Time.